Round here, them guns get the last word.
The battle between Korea and Pakistan has finally come to an end. They won the first to 10s that went to Team Korea. Knee, regardless, bodied Arslan Ash 2-10. But in day 2 and in day 3, which was the real event, Korea got decimated. And exactly what I thought would happen happened. Korea may be able to surprise us, but generally going into this event, they are the underdogs. And really the only way they would be able to shake the Pakistani team is if they basically break their will to fight. And with what Knee did on day 1, I thought that's what was going to happen on day 2, but they came back locked in, united, and they won the entire thing. But what makes Pakistan so interesting is they're the only region that still have offline arcades, but then also for Arslan and his team, they all show up to the same arcade. That is something that died out in places like Japan and Korea in the pandemic, right? They lost some of their final true great arcades during that era, but for Pakistan, it still continues. That drive, that foundation, that hunger still remains. They don't have to go to offline. They don't have to like travel to each other's houses. They don't have to find like a random venue. They can continue doing what they've been doing forever. And I think that place to gather gives them not only a place to build relationships, but also to really like push their skills to the next level. Cherryberry Mango says, screw Jin. His commands always betray me. This speaks to like the true difficulty that players talk about, because not everyone will be tournament level, but we all are locked into that tournament mindset whenever we're playing at our highest maximum. And whenever you're doing that, that's when the mistakes happen. CBM also had a crucial error where he had a rage art potential to kill, but he tried to extend the combo just a little bit more and then boom, drops. Moments like that just show you how stressful it can be in tournament. And when you're in your ranked journey, understand that what you're feeling, what you're going through is something that every player experiences. That stress, that drive, even that loss is what makes winning so great. Ulsan says the Jeondding is the strongest in the world. Tone follows this up and says, what are we doing about muscle armor and down 4-2? I do agree that King's kit is a little ridiculous. He's supposed to be a grappler, but he has power crushes, so many of them. And then he also has a lot of great counter hit tools with big damage behind them. But regardless of that, what the Jeondding was able to do with the character and how he was able to change up the timing, it was also incredible. What I really enjoyed seeing was how the Jeondding was using that muscle armor ability. It's super OP. But you could see the Korean players like taking advantage of it. Ulsan was trying to figure out the timing to counter hit him. He was even like hitting the muscle armor and then stopping and then blocking. This is something that was like done in Tekken 7 to Power Crushes, but with how fast and aggressive and deadly Power Crushes are in Tekken 8, you really don't see it happen that often. But many of the Korean players were trying to chip at the muscle armor. It was a powerful tool, so you know the Jeondding really didn't take too many damage too many times. But the fact that they were like, you know, poking at the little holes that did exist was incredible. And then also you got to talk about Jeondding. He says, it must have been very hard to come to Korea. Thank you for coming to Korea and playing with us. Congratulations from the bottom of my heart. We'll definitely take revenge next time. Jeondding is someone who I kind of read off. I was like, the Eddie, no way that's going to work. He's a weak character. He's not going to be able to compete with that character when everyone else is using super overpowered characters. And that wasn't necessarily true. There was a lot of moments where his Eddie was putting on a incredible performance, and it often seemed like it was like a wild card at times. You throw in a Jeondding Eddie and some people aren't prepared for it. I was not expecting that out of Jeondding because his performances is a little iffy at times, but he definitely proved me wrong and he put on a great battle. Now, as for the Jeondding lost twice to Ulsan. Really, you could say 3 times if you want to count the EWC, but just for this event particularly, he lost in the first to 10 against Ulsan, but then he also lost the next day against Ulsan. But on the final day, he finally got revenge.
Where's he going? Back fortune! Oh, he didn't tackle his ass! Break that shit! Oh my god! Oh, that down border close it out! Atif taking Pakistan.
What I like here is how happy all of the Pakistani players are, and they run up and they start slapping Atif on the back, on the chest, and then he's like, holy smoke, he starts to like flinch a little bit. He's covering up.
Atif taking Team Pakistan another point ahead.
If you saw his Twitter, this is something that he talked about a lot, is about how he wanted to overcome that defeat of one, the mirror match, but then two, Ulsan bodying him over and over and over. And you could see how much it was really like playing on his mind, because just the way that everyone popped off, like you could see that's something that they were really talking about, really trying to figure it out. And he finally has done so. Now, as for Arslan Ash, he had a really controversial day 2. Day 3, he started off with the curse is gone after quickly taking a lead against Korea. During the match, Arslan defeated Jeondding and he popped off. This may bring him some more controversy. Check it out.
But the jab will take it.
He does the Armor King finger across the throat. Boom, you're done. Your man's, I slayed him. And this is specifically against Jeondding. Now, before you say, oh my God, look at how toxic he is, it's revenge. Chanel says, the ritual is why offline competitions are fun. Let's not think about the personalities of the players with the game. People see Arslan Ash remembering this move from Jeondding all of these months ago as like, oh, that's cringe. He's been holding on a grudge for that long.
We'll take it.
But that's not really how I see it, right? This event was to play into the whole idea of the rivalry. We know how intense this rivalry is between Korea and Pakistan. This event was to really stoke that fire that has been brewing for like since the start, since Korea, since Knee and Arslan Ash in 2019. You know, that was the most viewed Tekken event ever, right? Evo Vegas. This event was to play into that idea, play into the rivalry, get both teams a opportunity to just troll each other, pop off on each other, to battle each other. Arslan Ash playing into that mindset doesn't make him toxic. It makes him, one, a good entertainer, but then two, a great player for being able to back up that performance. And a lot of people misunderstand Arslan Ash as well. This tweet here kind of describes it perfectly, but we have a video here of Arslan Ash talking, which goes a little bit deeper. It says kids and haters calling him toxic and arrogant when he's actually one of the most humble people out there. Those who know him understand that what he does is for hype. And he says, first of all, I would like to clear something for my fans and others who watch my videos on social. These things that I say is so because things stay spiced up. I want people to be motivated. I don't want people to think I'm an arrogant person, nor do I think Pakistan is all and everything. I mean, my friends like Ulsan and others from Korea, they know me. They know my real personality, but on Twitter, I do these things. I think one should do such things on their socials to make the competition more fun. But in real life, I never think this way, that I'm the only one or Pakistan is everything and others are nothing. And to speak to what Arslan is saying here, Harada does the same thing. You know how key charging is considered super toxic and super controversial, and people think it's taking it way too far. It makes the matches way too personal. Harada says he loves that. That's why Harada loves when people key charge, one, in tournament, but then two, he also just loves when people key charge, period, because it makes the battle more personal. It makes the battle more intense. It's not just a normal match anymore. Now there's like egos on the line. Now there's like, you know, it's more on the line. And with Arslan stoking the flames of the rivalry, he's kind of doing the same thing. He's being the heel. He's willingly being the heel to make the whole entire event more hype. And you kind of got to admire him for that, because he knows doing that will get him a lot of hate. And people will root for his downfall. But at the end of the day, still, people are still excited. They're still becoming more passionate about the event. You know, what he's trying to do is still working. Same with Harada. So when they win and he tweets out, Pakistan is the best Tekken region in the world, that is why. But he also clarifies and he says, for all the people who fail to comprehend why it's so important for us to constantly reiterate that Pakistan is the best region in the world, please understand where we come from. As a nation, we are deprived of a gaming infrastructure. There are actual taboos associated with the field of gaming. Sure, it's a cultural thing, but we don't exactly have a very supportive environment that is beneficial to adopt gaming as a full-time career. Our passports is one of the weakest in the world, so that means that we cannot just travel whenever, wherever. Yes, I understand that that probably sounds alien to some of you, but in order to make it simple to travel to the US for a week, we have to start getting our documents and financials sorted 6 months in advance. There's loads of shredding. For those who don't understand what that means, it's power outages in order to save electricity for multiple random hours of the day. So we had to wait outside arcades for the electricity to return so we're able to continue gaming. Due to the lack of monetary support, in my case and many others, we play money matches in order to pay the bills for the coins we consume in the arcades. There's a lack of government support, so even with all the talent in the world, we don't have anyone pushing individuals to take that leap of faith to enter the global arena. Pakistan as a country is the strongest when it's cornered, and when everything seems to be going up against us, we came out on top. We preserved and we won. A tournament is not a 1v1, it was a team game. After everything we've been through, if we can still present the world with a 3-time EVO champion, an EVO runner-up, and a TWT champion, the least the world can do is cut us some slack when we say that Pakistan is the best region in the world. And he follows this up with a couple of screenshots. This is what I mean when I say these guys have been friends for a very, very long time. You could just see how all of these guys are so young and now they're much older. And now they're also much better. And now they're also world dominating forces. This is kind of why I don't take what Arslan says as toxic, because not only do I understand where he comes from, but also to be overlooked for so long, but then now to be carrying the torch, it's everything. Rangchu says they're the best region in the world, but we're going to get a revenge next time. Thank you to Pakistani players who came all the way to Korea and made a good experience. Ulsan says, congratulations. It was an amazing event. Korea versus Pakistan actually happened. We want revenge is what he says. Atif says, we did it. We took home the trophy. I'm beyond proud of each and every one of you for your skill, dedication, and teamwork. Thank you to everyone who supported us along the way. We couldn't have done it without your support and prayers. Nee says, great event. Great job, everyone. Congratulations to Pakistan. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your journey in Korea. All in all, this was a really great event. But players, immediately after it ended, turned their attention towards the next event. Rip says, this Pakistani Korean event was the best event in first season of Tekken 8. VDX says, speaking of which, we're due for NA versus EU again. Ulsan says, I want to watch EU versus US. Spaghetti Rip says, I honestly think Germany clears the US on their own. He also responds to FDX and says, in time, my friend, don't be such a rush to get bodied by EU. So this is what the new focus is on. This is what the players will try to set up next. A US versus EU part 2.